Hello students, good evening to your class. Dear students, in your English class we were doing the chapter number 4 in the kingdom of the fools. In this chapter we have attended one class and in that class we have completed some part of the chapter. If you remember, in this chapter a blame game was going on in the kingdom of the fools, where everybody was fools, the minister, the king, everybody was fool. In that kingdom a thief had died. He died while he was trying to loot the house of a rich merchant, and when he was trying to come out of the house, the wall fell on his head and he fell down and he died. After that the matter was taken to the court of the king, and we see that in the court of the king a blame game was going on, and something was going on like that. Everybody was shifting his own responsibility over the head of the another person. If you remember, when the brother of the thief went into the court of the king, he blamed the merchant to be guilty for his brother's death because it was his wall that fell down over his brother's head and he died. The merchant was called into the court. When the merchant was called into the court, what happened? He said that it was not my fault. The wall was made during the time of my father. The real culprit, the real guilty person is that person who made the wall, a bricklayer. A bricklayer. After that, the bricklayer was called into the class, into the court. The bricklayer said that it was not his fault, rather it was the fault of that woman, that dancing girl who was moving up and down again and again, and it because of her he was distracted from his work and he made a wall that fell down over the head of the thief and he died. So in this way, it is not the bricklayer who is responsible for the death of the thief, rather it is the dancing girl who was moving up and down. She is responsible for that. Now the king thought for some moment and he ordered that the dancing girl should be brought into the court, and she was brought into the court. The king said that you were moving up and down into the court, into the street, and because of you the bricklayer got distracted, and because he got distracted he made a weak wall, and so you are responsible for the death of that thief, so you will be punished. So this was the portion that we have completed in the previous class. Now we'll continue. Now the dancing girl was called into the court of the king, and the king said that she is responsible for the death of the thief, so she will be punished. Now see what was she that she said to defend her. What was her opinion and whom did he shifted his blame over? What happened? The dancing girl transferred the blame onto another person. She said that she was roaming around in this lane again and again because she has to visit the goldsmith shop. She had given some gold to him to make jewelry out of it. He was a dishonest person. He was making excuses for not making her ornament in time. He kept on asking her to come after some time. Due to this, she had to go his house at least dozen times. So the dancing girl said that it was the fault of the goldsmith. Further, this dancing girl says that when the bricklayers saw her and got distracted, it was the fault of goldsmith, because of whom she was roaming in the lane again and again. So you see, the dancing girl also shifted her responsibility over the head of the another person. Now the goldsmith, the person who makes jewelry, he was called into the court of the king. Let us see what was his view, what was his argument to save himself. Now the king says that The poor dancing girl was totally right. He thought a lot and finally said that now they knew who the real culprit was. He ordered to bring the goldsmith. The bailiffs in the king's court went in search of the goldsmith and brought him to the court. The goldsmith was hiding inside his shop as he feared being arrested. When he was brought in front of the king, he told his side for the story. Now, see, finally the king thought that the goldsmith was the responsible for that, so he was called into the court. Now, when the goldsmith came into the court, he also put his views. Let us see what did he say. The king asked goldsmith to name the merchant. The goldsmith said that the merchant was the same. Okay, one part is missing over here. I will like to tell you that what happened after that. The goldsmith was taken to the court of the king. He said that he was completely innocent. It was not his mistake. It was not his fault. It was all because of a rich merchant. Actually, he was making that dancing girl come again and again to his house, and he was not able to complete her work, all because of a merchant. He told that a merchant has given him the order of making some jewelries, and there was the power of the merchant who was forcing him to do his work before the work of the dancing girl, and because of that he was asking the dancing girl to come again and again. So he said that he is not responsible. It was that rich merchant who was responsible for that. The king said that you tell me the name of the that rich merchant who forced you to do his work first and do the work of the dancing girl later. The goldsmith said that the merchant was the same merchant whose house wall has fallen down. Justice has come full circle, means the story ended at the same person from whom had started. The thief died under the wall of the same merchant whose jewelry had this goldsmith was making. Once again the merchant was called. He was crying, and he knew that the king was foolish and he would give him death sentence. He said that it was not he who had ordered the jewelry, but his father. His father was dead, and it was none of his fault. Now the king consulted his ministers and gave the decision that merchant's father was murderer. The thief died because of him, and the merchant's father was not alive, and someone had to be punished for the crime. So he said that the merchant's son, who had inherited everything from his father, would have to take the punishment for his wrongdoing as well. He added that when he had seen the merchant for the first time, at that moment he had the feeling that he was the culprit. The king announced that now the merchant would have to die. Okay. So now the king has given his decision that the merchant is going to die for the death of the thief. When the new weapon were getting the merchant was taking to the place where he was to be killed, he was to be punished, and the weapon was ready. When the weapon was being ready, the ministers realized that the merchant was very thin and he could not be executed in this way. He told this to the king, and the king got worried. Let us see what happened now. The king got an idea that they should catch hold of a man who was fat enough to be executed with the stake. The merchant would not be put to the death because he was too thin to be executed with a stake. They thought of punishing another person instead of merchant, one who was fat enough to be executed with a stake. Finally, the king sent his servant around the kingdom to look for a man who was fat enough to be executed with the stake. They found the Guru's disciple who had become fat because of overeating. So you see class, finally the disciple who did not leave the city, though his gurus asked him to leave the city because this was the city of the fools and they can do anything. Now he was arrested for the killing, for the punishment. Why was he arrested? Because the merchant was too thin to be executed on the stake. So the king has ordered that a fat person should be caught and he should be punished. Now the soldiers have caught that disciple of the guru for that thing. So this is the this part, and we will see the next part of the story in the next class. Thank you.